last bottle of the Egregio. I've been saving it for a special occasion.
And what's that?
The anniversary of my escape. Astia Vala Femundis. Care to hear the story?
I enjoy listening to you talk.
There are few pleasures greater than speaking with a beautiful woman. Let's see. You've heard of Saharan? The Imperium and the Qunari have fought over the island for centuries now. I was there with Daenerys during a Qunari attack. I managed to get him to a ship, but there was no room for a slave. I was left behind. I barely got out of the city alive.
You escaped only by chance?
That time, yes. There are rebels in the Saharan jungles called Fog Warriors. They found me and took me in, nursed me back to health. I stayed with them for a time, until Daenerys finally came for me.
Whether you wanted to go or not, I assume.
I'd grown fond of the rebels. They bowed to no master and fought for their freedom. It was beyond my experience. When Daenerys came, they refused to let him take me. He ordered me to kill them, so I did. I killed them all.
You gave up?
It felt inevitable. My master had returned and this fantasy life was over. But once it was done, I looked down at their bodies. I felt I couldn't. I ran and never looked back.
I don't see why you didn't kill him right there.
I wasn't running from him. Not at first. I've never spoken about what happened to anyone. I've never wanted to. Perhaps this is what it means to have a friend.
It might mean more than that.
I have never allowed anyone too close. When my markings were created, the pain was extraordinary, and the memory lingers. But you are unlike any woman I have ever met. With you, it might be different.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
If there was someone before, I have no memory of it.
There was no one after you escaped, even?
I stayed nowhere for long. Who would I trust? I didn't think I needed anyone, or wanted anyone, until now.
We could find out.
On another evening, perhaps. A last toast, then. To the fallen. I have been thinking of you. In fact, I've been able to think of little else. Command me to go, and I shall.
Shut up. Was it that bad?
I'm sorry, it's not... It was fine. No, that is insufficient. It was better than anything I could have dreamed.
This is as far as it goes, then?
I began to remember my life before. Just flashes. It's too much. This is too fast. I cannot do this.
Your life before? What do you mean?
I've never remembered anything from before the ritual, but there were faces, words. For just a moment, I could recall all of it. And then it slipped away.
Don't you want to get your memories back?
Perhaps you don't realize how upsetting this is. I've never remembered anything, and to have it all come back in a rush, only to lose it. I can't. I can't.
We can work through this.
I'm sorry. I feel like such a fool. All I wanted was to be happy. Just for a little while. Forgive me.
My dusky goddess. You have buried yourself in the flesh of my heart like a worm in a red apple. You heartworm, you.
Oh, look, my friend is here. Excuse me.
But I haven't gotten to the part where I invite you to feast upon my tender white flesh.
That's all right, I think I'll manage. Speaking of romance, you and Fenris, eh? That taut, controlled body, the brooding demeanor and intense gaze. I hear he still wears the shackles from his life in bondage under his clothes. You know what they say about men like that, don't you? I don't know what they say. He can't find a saw. I had you there. You thought I was going to say something dirty. Take a look at this.
A blade of mercy. I remember these. You see them in the Imperium. Replicas of the sword Archon Hessarian used to kill Andraste. This one looks finely crafted.
It seems like a regular sword.
Here, let me show you. These are gifts of honor, given to those who have performed a service for the Imperium. Denarius coveted them, as I recall.
You don't talk about the Imperium much.
It's not a place I remember fondly.
The blade is yours.
For me? Yes. I think I'd like that. I'll think of the irony as I wield it. Thank you, Hawk.
Don't need to stay in this pit anymore, you know. Not that you haven't, fixed it up nicely.
It's falling apart, and my ability to keep the Seneschal from noticing is nearing an end.
I appreciate what you've done, Aveline.
But you're staying. You could go anywhere now.
Perhaps I don't wish to go anywhere.
Freedom must be a terrible burden, I guess.
They don't understand. Yes, I am free. Denarius is dead. Yet, it doesn't feel like it should.
You wanted him to stop chasing you. Now he has.
I thought if I didn't need to run and fight to stay alive, I would finally be able to live as a free man does. But how is that? Whatever past I had died with my sister. I have nothing now. Not even an enemy.
Is that all you do? Dwell on the negative?
No, well, alright, yes. Fair enough. It's just difficult to overlook the stain that magic has left on my life. If I seem bitter, it's not without cause. Perhaps it is time to move forward. I just don't know where that leads. Do you?
Wherever it leads. I hope it means we'll stay together.
That is my hope as well. We have never discussed what happened between us 3 years ago.
You didn't want to talk about it.
I felt like a fool. I thought it better if you hated me. I deserve no less. But it isn't better. That night, I remember your touch as if it were yesterday. I should have asked your forgiveness long ago. I hope you can forgive me now.
Don't let it happen again.
If there is a future to be had, I will walk into it gladly at your side.